What's going on, movie fans? My name is Michael Weer, and I like to talk about movies. Today we're going to talk about a brand new Gerard Butler-led movie called Kandahar. And going into this movie, I thought the movie was called Kandahar, because I didn't know how to pronounce it. So I went into the theater, and I said to the guy, I was like, hey, can I get a ticket to Kandahar? And he was like, do you mean Kandahar? And I was like, possibly. Same movie? He goes, yeah, people come in pronouncing it different ways. I was like, okay, cool. Can I have one fucking ticket, please? I didn't say fucking at the time. And now that I've said fucking within the first minute of a YouTube video, YouTube's going to suppress this. It's just what it does. So, might as well say it again. Let's do the fucking review. Solid ground. And so, guys, Kandahar is directed by Rick Roman-Waugh, and it stars Gerard Butler as the lead character for this movie. And because it starred Gerard Butler, I was actually really excited about this movie. It was between seeing this and seeing The Machine, and I ended up skipping The Machine in the month of May, and I went for Kandahar, and now I'll probably wait for The Machine when it's streaming somewhere. But I made the wrong choice, because even if The Machine wasn't very funny, at least I've heard it's not boring. Whereas this movie was boring as shit. But I'm going to get into my likes and dislikes in a little while. First, I'll give you the rundown for this movie. And of course, it's Gerard Butler as a CIA operative who's doing Black Ops missions in the Middle East and has to get out of there once his cover is exposed. Once his cover is exposed, he has to get his way to Kandahar with his interpreter. They have a rendezvous point where they're going to get on a plane and jet home to safety. But while he's there, he's got corrupt police, terrorists, and all kinds of people after him trying to kill him. And so he has to try and make his way home. Again, that's not a bad setup for an action-packed Gerard Butler movie because at least he'd be fighting his way out the whole time. And that's what I was hoping we were going to get. But it was not what we got. But let's get into my likes. My first like and my only like for this movie is a helicopter chase scene. It's actually very well done. I liked how they used night vision within that scene. You've got a helicopter shooting at Gerard Butler, and then he's shooting up toward them from the ground. He's wearing night vision goggles. They're wearing a different color of night vision goggles. So you're seeing the fight through their two different night vision goggles. And it's actually really cool and really well done. That is the only memorable part about this movie. The rest of this movie is incredibly boring. Let's get into my dislikes. I already said it. This movie is boring as shit. It really is. You've got Gerard Butler supposed to be getting to Kandahar. It's supposed to be action-packed, and instead they take time for every side character in this movie to get way too much screen time. You've got a reporter that whole storyline, I get why they had it at the beginning because that's how they expose his identity out there, but this reporter gets all this backstory, this reporter gets all this storyline, and it doesn't go anywhere. It's not necessary for the movie. And then you've got like a corrupt cop who ended up kidnapping that reporter to get that information for the bad guys. And then later on in the movie, that corrupt cop gets killed, and they almost want to make you feel sorry for him and his family. And I don't understand it. In fact, that's what they do for almost every single bad guy in this movie. Every single bad guy in this movie that's trying to chase down and kill Gerard Butler, they give like this beautiful send-off to them. And I don't understand why. It's every single one. So the next thing I dislike is the movie's very unclear about who the bad guy is in the movie. It just is. Like, you've got the CIA operative who you think, okay, that's who we're going to cheer for. But really, toward the end of the movie, you're like, well, maybe he was a bad guy too, and he's the one that got to go home. But then they end the movie like, sometimes you have to go home so that you remember what you're fighting for. And it's like, okay, well, so then it's a pro-America message. What message are you trying to send here? So on top of the message being just kind of weird, and then how boring it was, and not enough action pieces, this movie just didn't do it for me. And overall, I will say that I think Kandahar is a movie that if you want to watch, I would wait for on streaming. I'm sure within the next month or two, it'll be streaming somewhere for free, and that's where I would check it out. I would not waste your time in the theater because that is my next and worst dislike for this movie. It is way too long. This movie just goes on and on and on. And right when you think it's done at the end, they're like, oh, now we want to give a nice sweet send-off for Gerard Butler. And I was like, come on. It's just too much. So this movie was too long, too slow, too boring, not enough action. I don't recommend it. And that's my review for Kandahar. Guys, if you enjoyed this review for Kandahar, don't forget to hit that like button and the share button so your friends can see it. If you have seen this movie and you've got thoughts and you've got comments, throw that in the comment section down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Maybe you enjoyed it. Maybe you found something else on it. Or maybe you agree with me. But you're like, you know, it is too long, too boring, too much extra plot. It just should have been a straight and simple story about a guy trying to evacuate the Middle East, and instead they made all these side plots. I don't know. Finally, guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, make sure you do that, because I got a ton of content on my channel. We rank every movie that I see every month, and I'm going to be putting out one of those for May pretty soon, so be on the lookout for that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Well, we got through that review, and honestly, it took way longer to review than I thought it would. Just trying to get my thoughts in order on this movie. So much of it bored me. But guys, if you enjoyed this review, don't forget that I've got all my 2022 reviews right there, and all my 2023 reviews right there. You can check those out. I always appreciate it. Thanks for watching.